And my best memories are of not having to work too much, unlike these poor kids who are going to NUS today. But my really good memories are of my teachers, at least some of them. The late Professor Wu Te Yao, to whom I owe a lot. The late Professor Maurice Baker, Professor Edwin Tambu, Professor Chan Eng Chi. Now, I'm not sure they considered me a good student, but I certainly consider them good teachers. You know, I never intended to be a civil servant, you know. I mentioned I owe Professor Wu Te Yao a lot. He practically forced me to apply for a Fulbright Scholarship. If it had not for him, I wouldn't have bothered, right? And I was intended to teach at then Singapore University after I got a PhD. However, about halfway through the PhD, when I was writing my dissertation, I decided that if you didn't want to teach, this was a complete waste of time. But I had a small matter of a bond, so I came back and I joined the civil service. Never intended to stay in the civil service, but I was having fun and I forgot to leave. So I guess forgetting to leave was the highlight of my career. I have a bit of a radical idea about this, right? Whether you go to NUS or SMU or NTU or Harvard or Columbia University, it doesn't really matter. Your first degree is, unless you are studying something like medicine or law or engineering, it doesn't matter. Because what you do probably will have very little to do with what you studied, right? And that's much more so these days. I told you I stayed in one job for 37 years, more or less, right? I don't think any kid today can have that kind of career, even if they try, and I don't think they want to. But what a university degree does is actually give you a certain discipline. What it proves to an employer is that you have the discipline to go through a formal course of studies. What you study really doesn't matter. And have the stamina to see it through. And that gets you a foot in the door. How you perform after that has nothing to do with your degree or where you studied. My advice is don't let anybody make you do something you don't want to do. Particularly, don't study what you don't want to study and don't work at something that doesn't interest you. Life will be miserable. But that said, please don't be self-indulgent. Very few people get the privilege of going to university, and it is a privilege. And because you have enjoyed that privilege, I think those who you owe something to society, to the country, to give back. So don't be self-indulgent, but enjoy yourself.